Time for what?
Time for what?
Experience in college.
Time for reinforcement.
Time for liftoff!
Where nothing is impossible unless you think it is impossible.
College.
I have my college scholarship.
Yes.
Boom.
College ran by real fast.
You hung in with the best college.
First time for everything.
Well, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Let's do this thing.
Genius, let's do this thing!
Welcome, everyone, back to the show. Yes. Oh, yes. We have Mia back. And Mia has done some massive research for us because she went on an annual Modges Southern California college tour. If you're not familiar with the Modges program at St. Ignatius College Prep, it is a program that supports first-gen students who come from low socioeconomic backgrounds or also who identify as BIPOC. It's a program to encourage all students to rise above regarding the circumstances, so making sure that college is for all. So, Mia, can you tell everyone how you got part of the Modges Southern California tour?
So I've always been kind of involved in Modges in some way or another, but there's an application sent out and you have to do the application and then you just wait all nervous for a little bit to see if you got in, see if you can go to this amazing trip. And then me and actually some of my friends got in too, so that was kind of lucky. And it was just an amazing time and an amazing experience to go on.
Okay, so now, was there any preparation you had to do on this trip? Because how many colleges did you guys visit on the trip?
6 colleges.
Okay, about 6 colleges. That's a lot of schools. I mean, sometimes we would just visit maybe 1 or 2. So any prep work involved prior to visiting these campuses?
I mean, I looked at the score counts and looked at their college ratings or whatever. But since I had known about most of these colleges, my main thing was trying to forget all the rumors or anything that I've heard about the school. That was the main thing for me, was to just let myself have my own experience and not let anyone else's opinions kind of infiltrate my opinions on it before I went on the trip.
Yeah, that is a problem, isn't there? Right? Word of mouth it could be so helpful, but deadly too, right? I know certain students who've gone to a school across the nation would be like, oh my God, you get in a school and everyone's like, what's that? And it's like, don't let ignorance play here. So congrats to you. I mean, you got some basic data information about the school, right? Filtered out all the, information that people are just talking out of, what, and just observe it. So let's talk about one of your schools.
I think the most surprising school for me was Chapman. I love Chapman, for my personal opinion. It was nice and small. I liked the campus size. Our tour guides were really nice. The campus was nice. They talked about they have a bunch of research programs, which I was really interested in. And I know for some of my friends who wanted to go into dance or theater, they were super excited because it's pretty heavy performing arts school. So it was nice to see one of my friends go oh my gosh, they are talking about performing arts. This is crazy. I think that was really special to see.
Yeah, no, that's the amazing thing about Chapman University, which is in Orange County. So it's in the suburbs, but not too far from the city, unless you're in LA traffic. It's the worst in the nation for those who are outsiders. So California. And Chapman has a little bit of everything, right? Nationally ranked in that area. And then did you get a chance to go into the new science building? It is one of the few science buildings I've seen. Go ahead. Yeah, tell our listeners.
We got to see a little bit in, and then even through it was so cool, especially the engineering area. And oh my gosh, I can't even explain the joy that I got from just being able to see everything. You can see all the labs, you can see there's a special culinary area that they have in there. It was, I don't know exactly what it's called. I think it's cooking engineering or whatever, but it was just awesome.
No, and for me, for having 2 older sisters who major in the field of STEM, it was so great about all the huge murals of real women of past scientists making an impact in society. We often don't hear or see them. And then also, I don't know if you know this, in the student union, there is more of the lounge area at Chapman. There's also a place where they display a whole bunch of students who are kind of like Maja's profile. First gen, right? First their family go to college, identifies BIPOC, and they go, I am Chapman, right? And that was, it was a nice thing because you saw so much different representations. And I think a lot of people, just because it's in Orange County, which for those who don't know, it's in the wealthier part of California. And it is a gorgeous campus, but it aims to be really inclusive. What were some of the things that you heard from some of the panelists? Because I know you also listened to some Majas alum from Chapman too.
Yeah. I think the main thing that not only me, but a lot of the people in the group got out was like their strive for inclusion and also their financial aid was like a big thing that I think everyone took away. Like, I think our presentation, like our, the person who was like presenting, who worked there was like, oh yeah, we know we don't have the best inclusion, but we're working for it. And I think that was amazing because no other school was willing to admit that they have something to work on. Like that part was just really eye-opening to be like, yeah, they know and they're working for it.
No, I always say honesty is the best policy. There was one campus that we did a virtual panel, and then the kids afterwards, because they kept on talking about all these diversity programs, and then one of the Maja students go, oh, I could tell there's some diversity issues at that other school. They're like, oops, red flag. Kids are smarter than you think, people. Kids are smarter. So congrats to Chapman on and striving and growing stronger every day. So who's the other lucky campus that you got to visit?
Another big campus that I know that a lot of people liked and I liked was San Diego State University. I mean, for me personally, I don't think I can see myself going to the school, but the whole campus and like the people on campus and like everyone around campus was just so nice. Like I heard everyone's like, oh yeah, the vibe here is not like the UCs where everyone seemed apparently like stressed. Everyone was like more relaxed and you can tell they're enjoying their college experience a little more than I think other people saw at the UCs. But CSU I think was a big college for a lot of people. I know we had a lot of people who want to go into business and that's kind of a big business school. So I've heard. So that was another cool college.
Yeah, and the nice thing is you got to compare because there's 23 different Cal States. San Diego State's the second hardest one with tons of majors. The beautiful thing about Cal States, they have so many majors, but it's one of the largest Cal States, right? So it does have that chill vibe. I know you're going to talk in a minute about the other San Diego school. Like, is that more San Diego or is that more the Cal State situation? It's interesting that you were talking about that chill atmosphere because various students have come and gone, right? It just shows like it's so individualized. I've had students where it's like, there is a big fraternity and sorority thing and, and strong affinity groups and people had a hard time feeling, included in the program while others did not. And it's such an individualized experience that, students just need to learn, like, what are there's various different resources, not just count on one thing, just, they have this one major, this one program, I'm done. It's like, but what if that major, that program doesn't work? What's your backup option, right? So that's really good that you've mentioned that as well. So talk about the other one, which is the other public school. It's one of the 9 UCs, which are designed to be more challenging to get into, though Cal Poly is going to change that in a minute, for University of California, San Diego.
Yeah, so I really liked UC San Diego. It's funny, one of the people, like one of my classmates who was on the tour, sister was giving the tour. So that was really funny. I really liked it. I always look at UCs because the academics, but I think there was a lot going on. Obviously, we went during midterms week, which I could tell everyone looked stressed and I felt like everyone was stressed, but obviously midterm. They run off of a, what was it, not semester schedule or
they're a quarter schedule. So all the Cal States, for everyone to know. So Chapman is semester. Majority of private schools are semester, but there are definitely those who are quarter. And then for Cal States, majority of them all are semesters, but Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is quarter. And then the UCs, just to make it a little bit more confusing, are all quarter. So it goes faster pace, except for UC Berkeley, which is semester. So you saw the stress, you saw the tension. So and I think that happens everywhere because finals and exams at a large school is going to happen everywhere. So you see there's more tension, less smiles on people's faces. So being in the San Diego area, it's actually in La Jolla, which is more of the richer area of San Diego. I guess that's the way of putting it. Sorry, La Jolla, if I said it incorrectly. So what else did you notice? Even if it's about the facilities or space or acres or what our alumni said about UC San Diego compared to coming from, we're kind of a large high school, like 1,500, but it doesn't seem like it anymore when you go to a school as big as UC San Diego.
Yeah, so the really cool thing that we got to see in UC San Diego was like their diversity and inclusion center, kind of like a module center, but it's like a ginormous like circle of just places where you could go to feel included, like the LGBTQ center. There was basically like their BSU. You saw their Latinx center. Like it was cool. It was kind of weird that it was all in one section. They didn't kind of notice that it's all in one section and kind of in the back. But I think that just seeing that, knowing that there is a space there, like an actual space, like a physical space, is also kind of cool to know that you can go there. That was really nice. I really appreciated that. The facilities were super nice. The library is humongous. I didn't realize how much I liked libraries until I went on the trip. Like a great study space where they have multiple floors for group projects or silent study. There's a cafe in there. It was really cool. I think a lot of the other students, I really liked it. A lot of my other classmates didn't really like it because the atmosphere was so stressed and the tension was there at the moment. So I think that's why a lot of kids didn't like it, but I personally really liked it.
No, and that's the whole purpose of visiting a school. And for those who can't visit, that's why we have this podcast. That's why we're so grateful for guest speakers like Mia. But more and more schools, just let everyone know, we'll have more panels, but they're always going to promote themselves too, right? So that's why it's always great to speak to alum. And Mia, God, I knew you were smart. I didn't know you were brilliant too. Everyone, if there is a program that you're looking for, and it's in the back of the campus or has very small office space, red flag. That's very important, whether you're looking at elementary, middle school, high school, or college, even for in your professional lives. So keep that in mind, like how much of a program, again, for your major or affinity, doesn't mean there's not great people working there. But that means there's definitely less resources, right? So that's something that's important. And then how is the school elevating that on there, right? Because there is I don't know did you get to see at UC San Diego, they have a gorgeous mural that talks about the histories of Black Americans from the past to the current. Were you able to see that one?
I don't think I saw it.
No, and here's the thing is, that's my whole point. So it's in one of the lunch areas, and you just have to happen to see it's on a corner of a wall. It's huge. It's a huge wall. So, okay, I give you that, UC San Diego. But it's hardly anyone sees it. And if anyone knows me, I'm very snoopy. So I like look around and find things. But no, definitely there's some great places. You could definitely feel the Dr. Seuss architecture. But the vibe of the campus is so important. Now, before we go into the next school, we talked about looking at resources of finding out the vibe of the campus. What would you say is the biggest ones for you, right? If like you didn't see the school, for our listeners who can't see it, what would you recommend top 3 ways of trying to figure out the best you can about vibe of the campus that's not just hearsay?